Well, thank you, Dr. Hansen. That legislation, by the way, has been passed out of committee. It's on the floor, and we're going to move it shortly. And I would just make a couple of observations. One is that this ISIS phenomenon, another way it could have been handled was when ISIS originally was in Raqqa, as they were leaving Raqqa. There were those of us on this committee, as well as some of our ambassadors overseas, that suggested overwhelming U.S. air power hit the ISIS forces in Raqqa, and then, or hit the ISIS forces as they were leaving in their long caravan as they begin their attacks, town by town by town. And we did not act from the air at that time. We allowed them to take some 14 major cities, culminating in taking Mosul, without the use of air power at the time to stop them while they were in these long columns. Subsequently, we began the process in this committee, bipartisan, to argue for arming the Kurds. Why? Because the Kurdish battalions were strung out on a 600-mile front with ISIS. They were the one effective force, not just fighting ISIS, but taking in behind their front lines Christians, Yazidis, other minorities, and willing to put themselves at risk to go into territory ISIS held in order to rescue Yazidis and other minorities. And they were fighting with small arms fire against ISIS, which had become the best financed terror group in the history of any terror organization, because they took the central bank at Mosul and had at their disposal the enormous wealth, and because they took weapons along the way. So our efforts here have gone on now, I would say, for 9 months to try to get into the hands of the Kurds the anti-tank missiles, the artillery, the long-range mortars that they need on the battlefield. 30% of these Kurdish battalions are females. They are women fighting on the front lines against ISIS, and they are fighting without adequate equipment. And as you put it so well, they're fighting for civilization, not just their own, for other religious minorities, and frankly, for a principle. And because of the pressure from Iran, pressure on Baghdad, you know, yes, you can support the Shia militia, but you can't give support to the Kurds. For whatever reason, the weapons dribble in, and this is wrong. This is immoral. The other point I would make, I would just wanted to ask you some questions on the issue of the sale of female captives from religious minority groups to ISIS fighters. How extensively has ISIS been involved in what we here call sex trafficking, or slavery, frankly, particularly the kidnapping and sale of women and girls from these overrun communities? Has it been an outcome of lawlessness, or is it part of a more deliberate ISIS policy to destroy and to subjugate those who do not share their fanaticism? Ms. Isaac.
Looking at the ISIS philosophy, they believe that the Yazidi people in particular are not only to be tortured, but they are to be destroyed in every single way possible. They want them off the face of this earth. And so it is a philosophy to destroy them and to torture them. With the girls particularly that I met, they, in one night, because they felt safe in the beginning in Sinjar town, and in one night, ISIS came and took all of these girls. And they told them first, they gave them an option. They said, will you become a Muslim? Will you convert to Islam? And many of them said no. And they told them, you are going to be Muslim regardless, because we are going to sleep with you. And the moment that we do that, once we rape you, you will be Muslim. Many of these girls who chose not to be still were raped and came back believing that they were forced into this religion. This is barbaric. It is systematic. Today, it starts with the Yazidis. Tomorrow, it's going to be not only the Christians, but every woman that doesn't fit within their philosophy. We need to stop the menace that's going on there. We need to stop it at its root. This is a nerve center. Right now, all the crazies from all over the world are coming to this center point, to this nerve center. If we can cut the snake at its head, we can diffuse them. Their sex trafficking is systematic and it will continue. And it can reach our families if we don't do something about it. Thank you.
Let me also ask about psychological counseling, and I'd ask that of the panel. What type of trauma resources are available right now for those who've escaped, and what more is needed? Sister?
Yeah, I would say from my work on the ground, we don't have that strong programs to talk about trauma, because I just experienced a case about 4 weeks ago, a woman who was released by ISIS with 20 Yazidi women thrown in Sheikh Khan. The Yazidi women told us that this is a Christian, you take it, and we go to our Yazidi families. So the woman was totally devastated. She's in her 40s. She was brutally beaten, raped constantly, yet that her psychological situation is totally destroyed, that she can't control herself anymore. When she tells her story, how they tortured her in so many ways, that when one of the sisters who took her and take care of her, she found that all her body was with so many scratches, with the, with the burn of the smoke and all that. So the woman now, we put her in a safer place, yet we're trying to find a good psychological treatment for her, yet it's not that available in where we live exactly. So we lack for that thing. So the socio-psychological programs, I think they are the most important thing to look forward to work on at this moment.
Well, thank you. My time's about to expire, so I'll go to Mr. Engel.